a-hole for putting my wife on a strict allowance and making her ask me permission to buy expensive things. When we were married, we decided not to fully combine our finances. Okay, that's kind of messy, I feel like. Okay, fair, not traditional. Not sure how you facilitate that, but like, good to know. We have a shared account in which I fund 3/4 and she funds 1/4. We use this account to pay the mortgage, utilities, grocery, etc. We also have our separate accounts where we deposit the rest of our money. Interesting. I've never heard of this before. We're responsible for our own investments and cars. Things all worked well for a couple of years until recently when she came to me crying. Turns out my wife is not good with her money.
No way.
And owes $150,000. Ooh, that's not good. Spread over several credit cards. Whoa, dude. How do you even get to that point?
Observe.
And her car loan. Unless she wins the lottery, there's no way she would be able to pay off her debt, and I didn't want her to mess up her credit by declaring bankruptcy. At that point, you're literally just being careless. I'm sorry. It's one thing to have even like $20,000 in debt. I feel like the vast majority of people are in debt. This is something very normal. If you're not in debt, congratulations. You make up literally like 20% of the population. However, $150,000, bestie, that's a lot. What are you spending that money on?
What the hell is that?
An alpaca. I got the last one.
I feel like she was just careless and just figured,
Oh, my husband will bail me out.
ooh, no. This is like divorce fuel. I decided to loan her the money to pay off the debt on strict conditions. I will take over her finances, including receiving her income. God, this feels like a parent-child relationship, not a marriage. I get that she owes you money, but I just feel like this is just not good. She will be placed on a strict allowance and a budget. She will have to ask permission to buy anything over $50 and has to go by my judgment. Once she pays me back the money, she can take control of her own finances. That could take a while. It's $150,000. Most people don't make that in a year. She argued against the conditions. I mean, she probably would, yeah. But I mean, how else is she gonna get out of this? I don't really feel like she's in a position to be like choosing how she's gonna get out of this debt. She argued the conditions until I pointed out I don't have $150,000 in cash stuffed in the couch. I will have to sell some assets, including stocks that are currently performing well. If I loan her the money, it will cost me money. She finally agreed. This weekend, we were at a dinner party where after too many drinks, some of the women decided they wanted to take a girls' trip a few weekends from now. My wife turned to me and asked me if she could go, and I answered no, it's not in her budget. I'll spare you the details of the argument that erupted, but the TLDR version is that I'm a misogynist pig who keeps her on a leash.
Yes, Daddy.
That would be true if she didn't put herself on that leash. Some argued I should have bailed her out without conditions because there should be none in a marriage. Like, you also married someone who's like incredibly careless with their money. The hurtful part is that she didn't once defend me. You agreed to pay off this massive debt and then she didn't defend you? Like, she didn't like tell her friends that, you know, you were helping her out of a bind? Was I wrong to put all those conditions on her? There are a lot of people watching this who will probably feel as though a marriage should come without conditions. It is not traditional to like keep your finances separate like that, but I have a feeling that you also had a feeling that this might happen. Let's be sure when we're marrying people that we also align on finances. Be prepared. Because when you marry someone, you take on their financial decisions, unless of course you keep it separate. I think under the circumstances and your current situation, I don't think it's wrong to have put those parameters on her. She's in no position to be going on a girls' trip and spending thousands of dollars. This is her showing her spending habits. Even when she's $150,000 in debt, she still wants to spend. That's not how it works, babes. You spend the money when you got the money. Don't spend money thinking that you're gonna have money, because sometimes that doesn't work out. We have an update and some more context.
Bring it on.
I read some of your comments at lunch and continue to read them. When I got home from work, she started another round of arguments about the trip. Okay, so I was like kind of thinking maybe she was like drunk. She didn't mean what she said, but that's not the case. Cool. Okay. I pointed out she has no money, at which point she pointed out she hasn't hit the limit on one of her credit cards. This is why we are in debt. And that card should cover her for a weekend. So I drove back to my office and will spend the night here to answer some of the questions that may be brewing in your head. 1, our shared account pays for everything in the house. For example, a few weeks ago, we bought a new cookware set from Costco, and that money came out of the shared account, which you contribute 3/4 of, and she contributes 1/4, and she's still in debt. She works a full-time job. Minus her contribution to the shared account, the rest of her income is hers to spend as she wishes. I covered things we do together like dinners, dates, and vacations. Okay. The principal amount she owes is about $120,000, of which about half is her car loan. The rest consists of interest and late fees. If we can't even pay interest and late fees, we can't be spending, bestie. I didn't bring up her debt in front of her friends because I wanted to protect her reputation. How good of you. I haven't liquidated anything. I'm working with my advisor and broker and deciding what to liquidate to take the least financial and tax hit. She doesn't gamble. I looked over her bills and it looks like she spent money on dinners, drinks, and shopping with her friends. Yeah, she's got a little spending problem. Not little, large spending problem. We've been married for less than 5 years and do not have children. We started talking about a family in a couple of years. This is a sticky situation. I fail to understand how your wife isn't eternally grateful that you have bailed her out of this situation. I feel like she racked up that debt thinking that you would bail her out and didn't think about the consequences. Honestly, I genuinely feel like you should have just let her learn the lesson on her own. I used to be irresponsible with money. Very irresponsible. I made some bad decisions. But eventually I had to start taking responsibility for my bad decisions. Not the a-hole. Your wife is seriously irresponsible, and it seems that when you bailed her out, she didn't learn a lesson. It's the thing, right? If you come to the rescue, there are no consequences. Real world consequences. She and her friends put you on the spot like that, hoping the pressure would force you to say yes. A normal person would have realized the mess they had made and realized they can't spend frivolously with $150,000 in debt hanging over their heads. But this just shows your wife's attitude. Good luck getting your money back. Yeah. I'm a little confused as to how she still has a credit card. Cut it up. Cut those little moves up. Dangerous little things. If you're not careful, those credit cards can just get a little out of control. You know what I'm saying? OP, make her destroy her credit cards and cancel them with you as a witness. Then don't tell her beforehand, freeze her credit. Sure, she can unfreeze it since it is her credit, but maybe that extra step will help with the cards. How do you even get $150 in credit limits when you owe so much? My husband and I make well over that and we don't have that much in cards. That is a very good point. How are you even able to spend that much? It's the car loan, apparently. But yeah, that's a pretty substantial debt to rack up. Shouldn't have bailed her out. You'll never get the money back and this won't end well. She already resents you. You can't stop someone who wants to financially destroy themselves from doing it. It's like saying OP should hide all the alcohol in the house. It's putting a band-aid on a sucking chest wound. OP needs to have a real conversation with his wife and to seriously consider divorce. It'll destroy him financially in the short term, but better that than forever. All right, in my eyes, I'm going to agree with Reddit on this one, and I'm going to say you're not the a-hole. Is this divorce worthy? You tell me. I feel like we read these sometimes and we're too quick to say, oh, divorce her, divorce her. Is this a divorce worthy offense? You let me know how you feel. Am I the a-hole for telling my husband that if he pays me my hourly rate, I will do more housework? I'm a steam fitter. What's a steam fitter? Steam fitter.
Just do my research.
Layout, assemble, install, maintain pipe system, pipe supports, or related hydraulic or pneumatic equipment for steam, hot water, heating, cooling, lubricating, sprinkling, or industrial production of processing systems. I cannot believe I said that in one take, bestie. So she's a steam fitter. I've been at it for a while and I'm in supervision with bonuses and incentives, but not counting benefits. I earn over $100 an hour. Ooh, get your coin, bestie. Nice. I also work out of town. I started doing that once the kids were old enough to take care of themselves with their dad at home. So when my youngest was in middle school, and the oldest was a junior in high school. It is great. I love that for you, bestie. I love that. Our retirement savings are piling up and we've been able to splurge on the kids and ourselves. My husband is upset, however, because I decided to pay for a cleaning lady. Hold on. I find that housework tends to come between a couple. My mother told me that the main things that couples fight about are housework and money. So if you can kind of remove the housework from the equation, leave it up to somebody else. If you are financially able, which they are, I don't see why not. He and I discussed it and we agreed that him and the kids didn't do a great job keeping the house clean and tidy while I was away. I hated coming home to a mess. It caused a few fights because it was like they expected me to come home and clean up after them. No. That's some weaponized incompetence if I've ever seen it. The last thing that you want to do when you get home from a trip or from work or whatever is clean up after other people. And I'm sorry, bestie, but you earning your own money. If you want to spend your money on a cleaning lady, ¿qué pasa? What's the problem? Is that actually ¿qué pasa? I don't actually know what that means. Guys, I speak Spanish now. Having her is fantastic. I come home to a clean house and I'm happier. Love that for you. I also like cleanliness. I like things to be clean. I don't like seeing little dust bunnies everywhere. My kids have more time to study and do extracurriculars. They still have chores and they are still expected to clean up after themselves. Sounds like a win-win to me. My husband came to me last time I was home and said we should cut back on the service when I'm home. That I should be doing more housework. Whoa. What's he doing?
Absolutely nothing.
He can't do the housework? We've got a working woman here making lots of money. That kind of thinking only works if you're the breadwinner and she's staying home all day, doesn't have a job. He thinks that we are wasting money. I wouldn't say that, bestie. To me, having a clean house and and having good mental health because your space is clean is a worthy expense. It could be a luxury in some people's eyes, but to me, it's a worthy expense. I said that I work 14 days in a row and those are 13-hour days. Ooh, definitely not coming home and cleaning after that. Yes, it's mostly paperwork, but his job as a teacher isn't much more physically challenging. I said that I could offer him 2 options. If he wanted, we can get completely rid of the service and him and the kids can make sure the house is in good shape when I get home. Or he could pay me my hourly rate and do extra housework when I'm on my days off. I think that's totally fair. He is upset with me and says I'm being financially manipulative. No, bestie, he's weaponizing incompetence against you. I think if he and the kids actually did what they're supposed to do when I'm away, none of this would be an issue. She's got a point. Having a cleaning lady there all the time, like, it definitely could be expensive. However, my issue is that he expects her to take on the duties of the cleaner and to come home and clean up after everybody else after she's been working for 13 hours. No, that's not going to happen. Either contribute or shut the f up. I know how I feel about this, but let's see what Reddit had to say. So you can afford it. Everything gets done. Everybody has free time. No one has to do stuff they don't want to do. There aren't any fights over it. I mean, there really is no downside and everybody wins. Him getting upset because you said if the maid goes, he'll have to do his fair share is very telling. Right? It'd be one thing if he was like, okay, we're wasting money, I will contribute more. But no, he's saying he wants you to do the housework. You're not home to make the messes, but you're supposed to work that much and come home and clean up after him just because he wants to save money while getting to sit on his ass. People like your husband always reinforce my decision to stay single, not the a-hole. People are getting a little upset about this one, and rightfully so. I feel like this resonates with a lot of people. Not the a-hole, he's free to clean the house he lives in. Damn right. You offered a great solution, one that benefits everybody. I think that that's like a fair expense. If that's what makes you happy, coming home to a clean house after a long day at work, if that's what makes you happy, then that's a fair expense. I'm sorry, you both work demanding jobs. You're sometimes requiring you to travel, but you should be taking care of the housework. Why? Because you're the wife? For f***ing sakes, it's 2024. You're both adults. You co-manage the household. If he wants the place cleaner, he can either help clean or pay for a cleaner. Pretending his wife is a maidservant is not an option, not the a-hole. All right, I'm gonna agree with Reddit on this one. Like, it is a little controversial. Some of you are gonna get upset, but I don't care. Not the a-hole. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to follow my sister-in-law's rules for her wedding and saying her insecurities aren't my fault? Not a fan of telling people that they're insecure, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt for now. My female 27 brother, male 34, and his fiance, female 31, are getting married real soon. My husband and I got our invitation. All fine. However, this is the problem that I'm having with them. I'm not a bridesmaid or in the bridal party because I have a baby. I was either pregnant with a newborn during most of the wedding planning. It was for the best. So I'm just a regular guest as everyone else, right? Well, my brother and his fiance came over a few days after they sent the invitations because they wanted to talk to me. My future sister-in-law basically told me she's gotten a dress for me and she'll love for me to wear it to the wedding. I was kind of like, oh, okay, thanks, but why? You know, was it ugly or something? Did she make you wear a paper bag? At first, she didn't want to tell me why they've chosen the dress for me, but finally she told me that I tend to draw too much attention to me. So you're prettier than her. Am I understanding that correctly? Last year, our older brother got married and my future sister-in-law thinks that she doesn't want to risk having me show up similarly to their wedding. By the way, I wasn't wearing an inappropriate dress or white or anything like that. I was wearing a normal formal dress. Okay, so you're like literally just pretty. I was confused by all of this and I asked what she meant because, as I said, I know how to dress up for a wedding. I reassured her she wouldn't have to worry about being outshined because, for starters, it's her wedding day and everyone will be paying attention to the bride and groom. And secondly, I won't wear an inappropriate dress with like too much cleavage or something. Her family's rather conservative, so I thought maybe she was more scared of her family's reactions. Oh God. We discussed this for a while and she told me that the problem is my weight. She's a little overweight and I'm not. Always had problems gaining weight even while pregnant. So she feels insecure. And that's why she wants me to wear a dress that would cover me completely? Oh, absolutely not. That is f***ing insane. You are so delulu, dude. Wow. This is where I think I might be the a-hole. I told her that her insecurities were not my problem. Normally, I'm not really a fan of that statement, but I think the way that you've described it, I think that that was a fair response. And that it was weird to ask me to wear a certain dress just because I'm skinnier than her. Agreed. That's not an a-hole thing to say. If anyone's being an a-hole, it's her. She told me she knew I'd have this reaction because supposedly I'd always want to be the focus of attention. attention. Is your attention always on her, or does she always want to be the focus of attention? To the bride, you're sounding like a secondary character in your own story, babes. She also said that my life has always been easier and it's not fair. I want to steal her wedding day as well.
What the f*** are you talking about?
Oh God. I asked her if she was doing this with every other woman who was skinning her, attending the wedding, and she said no, so I told her that's the shitty move. She's jealous of you. I find it strange that she talked to you about it in this way. It sucks feeling insecure next to somebody else. It does suck having those insecurities and not feeling beautiful on your wedding day. I empathize with that, but like, the wedding day hasn't even happened yet and she's already feeling insecure. Why invite you at all? Well, they're family, so they kind of have to be invited, but I wouldn't go. I like literally wouldn't go. We argued that my husband and brother got between us, so they argued as well, and finally we kicked them out. But not before I told them to enjoy their damn day because I wasn't attending the wedding. I'm not going to attend a wedding where somebody wants to like literally cover me from head to toe. The veil of shame. That is and they accuse me of being a drama queen and wanting to embarrass them by not going. But you want to embarrass her by making her wear a dress that she doesn't look good in. Well, I'm more calm, and this has caused quite a fight in our family as well. I admit that I was so tired and stressed that day because my baby had been sick the prior day and night. So I don't know, do you think I exaggerated here, or were they truly rude to ask me something like this? Yeah, they were not only rude, but like delusional. Guess what? In life, there's gonna be people that are way better looking than you. And it's easy to make those people the villain and blame them for all our problems. However, those people can't help the way that they look. And expecting them to look ugly so that you look better is so delulu, man. I don't care if you get married. I don't care if you're the Queen of England. Rest her soul. If someone tells me that they only want me at their wedding if I look like shit, I am not going. If you're so worried about someone upstaging you, then that person just shouldn't go in general. Or you need to get the f over it. Not the a-hole. I agree with your decision not to attend the wedding. Sister-in-law can give any explanation she wants for why you're not there, but I would definitely answer honestly if anyone asked you why you didn't attend. It's interesting that they were worried about being embarrassed that you're not there, and it's like, this is so embarrassing. Like, how are you not embarrassed asking someone to do that? I would get ahead of the story and tell your parents and close family exactly what happened so they don't poison the well. The truth is, the girl probably knows how ridiculous this is deep down and would never tell the truth about the situation because it is ridiculous. There is no way that like a coherent person wouldn't think this is ridiculous. You are not the a-hole, my dear. I'm glad you're not going to that wedding. Her.